Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Paramahamsa Parivrajaacharya Sattara Sadasya Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Ramacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gaur Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Navadvip Dham ki jai. Swamaveda Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the Asmal Lord. All glories to the Asmal Lord. All glories to the Asmal Lord. Thank you very much. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om 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 Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Yes.
Du kannst auch gleich noch Hare Krishna dear devotees.
Für die Tage für Pizza. Speak loud, speak loud.
Okay. Welcome to another wonderful day of transcendental Mahaprasadam Shravanam. To put Srila Prabhupada more deeper in the deepest sections and every section of your heart. So today we've got a super wonderful lineup. I said on the advertisement, it's a heavyweight lineup with a huge program. And it starts with no man, no human, but just the champion of bhakti. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada is a resident of Goloka Vrindavan. As a resident of Goloka Vrindavan, he has the bhakti, he has the relationship to take you back to his home. That is the qualification of our wonderful next speaker. Okay, go ahead.
Sankuro Vangshodavagninirritam Vanganguror Vangshodavagninirritam Sangrohoyatva Bhavabhavano Hari Sangrohoyatva Bhavabhavano Hari Niveshayatva Nijaraja Ishvaro Niveshayatva Nijaraja Ishvaro Yudhishthirang Pritamana Bhabuvaha Yudhishthirang Pritamana Bhabuvaha Sutta Goswami replied, Vangsham, dynasty, Kuro, of King Kuru, Vangsha, Dava Agni, forest fire set by the bamboos, Nirhitam, exhausted, Sangrohayitva, seedling of the dynasty, Bhavabhavanaha, the maintainer of creation, Hari, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, Niveshayatva, having re-established, Nija Rajyam, Raja, in his own kingdom, Ishvaraha, the Supreme Lord, Yudhishtiram, unto Maharaj Yudhishthir, Pritamana, pleased in his mind, Babhuvaha, became. Translation, Sutta Goswami.
Speak loud.
Okay, Hare Krishna, just a quick thing before we continue with Prabhupada's lecture. Anybody here, as well as anybody online, so please just put up your hand anytime you want Prabhupada's lecture to be paused to make a comment or question. We can do that during the lecture, okay? So just signal for me or put your hand up if you're online and we go on. No.
Said, Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the maintainer of the world, became pleased after re-establishing Maharaj Yudhishthir in his own kingdom, and after restoring the Kuru dynasty, which had been exhausted by the bamboo fire of anger.
The two words, Vangsha Kuru. Vangsha means dynasty of the Kurus. Another word, Vangsha Davagni. Vangsha means bamboo. So, this dynasty is like bamboo. One bamboo, automatically, many bamboos grow side by side. So, this dynasty also grows like that. One man, one woman, united, they beget children, in this way dynasty expands. So the expansion of dynasty and the bamboo growing, practically the same thing. Bamboo, they are also living entities. And another thing is Davagni, forest fire, Davagni. The bamboos, when they collide by air, there is heat, electricity is generated and the fire takes place. That is the cause of forest fire. Nobody goes to set fire in the forest. Nowadays, of course, in your country they are doing like that. But generally, the forest fire takes place by this collision of the bamboos. So this world is like that. Therefore we sing Sangsara Davagni. Sangsara Dava. What is that? Sangsara Davagni Nalali. So this world, you may try to keep yourself very peaceful, silent, but there will be set fire automatically, the nature. Because the natural law is that it will not allow you to live peacefully. There is not point. Just like in prison house, it is not that you will go to the prison house and live very peacefully. No. Because prison house is meant for the criminals. So anyone who is in this material world, they are criminals. They are all criminals. Why? Krishna bhuliya jeev bhagavan cha kare pasete mayatare japotiya dhare. As soon as our business is to serve Krishna, we are constitutionally made like that. Jiber Swarup hoy Nitya Krishna Das. So these rascals, Nitya Krishna Das, eternal servant of Krishna, when he forgets Krishna, why shall I serve Krishna? I shall become Krishna. That is Maya. As soon as you forget the service of the Lord, that is your business. Because we are part and parcel of Krishna. Just like this finger is part and parcel of my body. The finger's business is to carry out my order. I say finger, come here, it comes immediately. I say finger, come here, it comes immediately. That is the business of the part and parcel of the body. I desire the leg now should go upstairs, the leg immediately. Similarly, we being part and parcel of Krishna, our only duty is to carry out the order of Krishna. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam saranam. So as soon as we forget our duty, or we want to imitate, just like these Mayavadis, they want to imitate Krishna. They want to become Krishna. Nobody can become Krishna. These rascals, they think that by mystic yoga process one can become God. Simply rascal. Nobody can become God. God is never made. God does not become. God is always God. Not that one is not God and he becomes God by some mystic yogic power. This theory is going on amongst the Mayavadis, that by the mystic yoga practice one can become God. So we don't want such cheap God. They may become God, so-called God, but we are concerned with the real God, Krishna. Krishna, when he was 3 months old, he was God. He did not practice any mystic yoga to kill Putana. Sabha vikigyana balakriyaj. God's intelligence, power is nature. Although Krishna was on the lap of Mother Jashoda like a little baby, but the full potential of God was there. Savabhiki jnana balakriya. How to kill Putana, how to kill Aghasur, Baghasur. Krishna knows perfectly. All the Krishna's friends, they are entering within the mouth of Aghasur. Krishna is observing, now my all friends have entered the mouth of the Aghasur. How to kill this demon. The last he entered. And at the end of the throat, he began to expand himself. Just see how he knows to do his business. Savabhik. Krishna was a boy also, little boy. Nobody taught him how to kill this Aghasur, Baghasur. But he knows. Savabhiki jnana balakriya. He expanded himself within the throat, and the demon was choked up and he died. Similarly, the Keshi demon came as a horse, and Krishna pushed his hand within the mouth of the horse. If you want to control horse, you have to control his mouth. Horse is controlled by the mouth. Therefore, you have seen the harnesses are fixed in the mouth, and the driver controls the mouth and the horse goes. So Krishna was a boy. How he knew it, that this demon has come in the shape of a horse. So if I have to control him, I will have to control his mouth. So he pushed his hand within the mouth of the horse, and the horse felt there's an iron bar and hot iron. So he died. Similarly, when Krishna fought with that bull, what is that also? Aristas. He knew that to control the bull, you have to control the horns. So he took up the horns and kill him. This is Savabhiki, nature. He knows everything. So, here it is said, Pritamana, Ishara. Ishara, Pritamana Babuva. Ishara became pleased. Ishara is always pleased. He is never displeased. But when he sees that people are devotees, people are acting as part and parcel of him, he is more pleased. That is bhakti. Bhaktyamam abhijanat. How God is pleased, that you can understand by discharging devotional service. Whether God is pleased or not pleased, how you can understand? Bhaktyamam abhijanat. Javana jasyami tattva. Sevanmukhi hi jivhado sameva sprattada. You cannot understand what is God, what is Krishna. Generally, all people, they do not know what is God and what to speak of, understanding whether God is pleased or not pleased. They do not know what is God. This is the position of the world. They do not know what is God, neither there is any education to understand, although the human life is meant for understanding God. That is human life. Athato Brahma Jignasa. The animal life, their inquiries are, in the morning just like birds, they chart where we have to go now to find out our food, where we shall eat today, where we shall go. That is their questions and answers. Similarly, we also human beings, we go to the share market, what is the value, what is the price of this commodity, what is the price of that commodity, for eating purpose. Not these questions. Athato Brahma Jignasa. The human life should be engaged in inquiring about Brahma. What is the absolute truth? What is my position in relationship with the absolute truth? What is my duty towards the absolute truth? What is my ultimate aim of life? These questions must be discussed. Perhaps these questions are being discussed by the Krishna consciousness movement and no other movement. They do not know. The Mayavadis, they deny the existence of God. They become themselves God. So, the fact is that we have to see that Ishvara, the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is Pritamana. That is gopis. The gopis' life is like that. They want to see Krishna always Pritamana, satisfied. That is our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. How to see Krishna Pritamana. That is our business. Here in the material world, everyone is trying to see himself, how much satisfied I am. Pritamana. Everyone is trying to become happy himself. Just Bhakti Marga, or the path of devotional service, is just the opposite. To see how much Krishna is Pritamana, satisfied. So, here it is stated that Vangshat Purur Vangsha Davagni Nidhita. When everything was finished, Krishna knows how to kill the demons, setting fire. Just like you, somewhere or other, if there is fire in the forest, they automatically, so many trees, so many animals, so many other things, they become devastated, burned into ashes. So Krishna, by the policy of Krishna, all the demons were brought together in the battlefield of Kurukshetra and set them. The fire was set fighting and they died. Oh. When Arjuna was hesitating to fight, Arjuna was at last informed that why you are hesitating. It is all my plan. You fight or don't fight, doesn't matter. These people are not going back home. They will die. Nimitta matra bhavasabhasas. You just become only a nimitta, an immediate cause. Everything is arranged. But if you fight, you get the credit. I want to see my devotee gets the credit. Everything I am doing, everything actually, just like this Krishna consciousness movement is quickly spreading all over the world within 4 or 5 years. Is it my credit? No. It is credit of Krishna. But because I tried to do this business, people automatically giving me the credit. They say, Swamiji, you have done wonderful. I have done nothing wonderful. It is Krishna's business. Krishna Shakti Vina Nahe Nama Vichar. Without Krishna's strength, nobody can spread. That is stated in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Similarly, Krishna is always ready to help us, provided we are also ready to cooperate with him. If we cooperate with him, what Krishna desires, if we want to do little, immediately Krishna will help you. If you work 1%, Krishna will help you 10%. Again, if you work 1%, Krishna will help you another 10%. So this 10% credit you get by the help of Krishna. Krishna gives you intelligence. Tesam satadajuktanang bhajatang priti buddhi jugam dadan. If you are engaged, satata, 24 hours, without any other engagement, sarvadharman parittaj, giving up all other nonsense business. Sarvadharma. Simply if you are engaged in Krishna's business, priti purvakam, with love, not as hackney. Here is a duty, chanting of Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Not like that. With priti, with love. Chant every name, Hare Krishna. And here is Krishna, here is Radha. That kind of chant, quality. Not Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, not like that. Not like that. Priti. Tesam satadajuktanang bhajatang priti. That priti is required. That is the essential quality. Patram puspam phalam toyam jomi bhaktya prajachati. Real thing is bhakti. Krishna is not hungry that he will give him some good food and he will eat it. Never mind in which way you can give. Here is puri halwa. Krishna must eat. Krishna is not hungry for your puri halwa. But if there is bhakti, if there is love, then he eats. Tadahang asnan, then I eat. If there is bhakti, love, Krishna, what can I do for you? I am so teeny, you are so great. Still, I have tried to do something, if you can lead. This is mantra, real mantra is not so many formalities of mantra. Krishna does not say, one who offers me with the Vedic mantras. Never says. Krishna says bhaktya, with devotion. So others may criticize you that these American Vaishnavas, they do not know how to do this, how to do that. Let them criticize. But Krishna says bhaktya, you remain perfect devotee, then your life is perfect. Krishna does not say that Indian devotee who discriminate between touchable and untouchable, and big pandits, Deva Goswami, not Dasa Goswami. Krishna does not discriminate like that. Krishna says, bhaktya, jomi bhaktya prajachati. Krishna wants to see how much sincere devotee you have become. That is his business. Krishna does not see, either you are coming from Brahmin family or Sudra family, this family. No. Therefore, in the Shastras, it is forbidden. Vaishnava jati buddhi. Vaishnava does not belong to the material caste. He is transcendent because he is rendering service to Krishna on the transcendental platform. He is not in the material platform. Chaturvarnam maya sishta guna karma vibhagas. That is guna. This Brahman, Kshatri, Vaishya, Shudra. They belong to the category of the three gunas, Sataguna, Rajaguna, Tamaguna. But those who are pure devotees, they are transcendental to these three gunas. Sagunan samatittayetan brahma bhuyaya kalpati. They transcend. They do not belong to these gunas. No. Mancha abhyavicharini bhakti yogina jase. Anyone who is engaged in devotional service, abhyavichari, without any deviation, just to the rules and regulations, just to the standard, then immediately sagunan samatitta etam, the plural number, all these gunas, satagun, rajagun, tamagun, he is above Brahman. Vaishnava is above Brahman.
Okay.
Just, you want to read something there?
Yeah, because Prabhupada say, when? To the rules and regulation, when? What was? Before, huh? Yeah. So anyone who is engaged in devotional service, without any deviation, just to the rules and regulation, just to the standard, then immediately, and many devotees I heard, without calling name or something, I have seen that they have some even very not correct understanding, that even if someone comes to the higher stage of bhakti, let's say Raganuga, something more spontaneous or whatever, spontaneous devotional service or something, and they think maybe they can not more follow some rules or some regulation. Always I hear so many times in all my only 20 years actually, but even there was one devotee, even he was in the petrol station and he was eating something with egg maybe or something even, and he said, yeah, you are a beginner. He told me for 15 years, I was 5 years in devotional service, and he was eating something with egg or something like this. And I asked him, why you cannot eat this? Yeah, you cannot understand. You are not on this platform now. In the beginning, I have also followed every rule and regulation. And I was shocked. I was bewildered. wow, this okay. Then I was really okay. Raganuga means no more rules and regulation. But what that means, that we can do everything or what? and then, but actually, even in Nectar of Devotion, I think it was not Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami.
I think
I
something
think,
is wrong. One
Huh?
second.
Just one second. Can you hear Maturapati, everybody? Can you give us a signal?
On the chat, please.
Mhm.
Because he said sound is okay, but the microphone symbol is not moving here. That's why I said speak up, Now it's like you're speaking too low, I think. You need to go directly in front of the camera.
Anybody who has a question?
Yeah, well, sorry, I was not. What? Oh, moment, but I'm not ready. I'm not finished.
No problem.
Yeah, and then all the devotees say, "Wow, it's not so important to chant 16 rounds. Better even you chant 5 rounds, but with quality. Better like 16 mechanically." Oh, but it's also wrong. It's good to Prabhupada even now he say, chant with love. Okay, but what to do when we have no love? Okay, then we should also chant even mechanically maybe. And then get come to the platform of more quality. But we must chant 16 rounds. If we are disciples of Prabhupada, Prabhupada have said, my disciple is someone who follows the discipline. This means always the 4 rules and regulations. Only someone who one time only have sex, not for producing children, even with his own wife, he's automatically not more disciple of Prabhupada. Finish. This is disconnected. This is a very high standard, actually. So, and even on Raganuga or something else, that must be followed. Nobody can say there is no more rules and regulations. 60 rounds always, even for Prabhupada, for Raganuga. Okay, then they say, but the cowherd boys and the gopis, they are don't chanting 60 rounds. Okay, this is not our platform. Yesterday we spoke with Stoka Krishna Maharaj. So this is actually even a Ragatmika stage. So even if someone would be, let's say, on Raganuga, really on this plan, he must minimum chant 16 rounds. Actually, he would chant more because he cannot more stop. This is Raga. So if someone maybe cannot chant even the 16 rounds because he's fully in tamas, but year after year, and he cannot stand up in the morning even before 4 o'clock. Then maybe after some years, he is looking in the mirror and he gets some hate on himself because he's thinking, I cannot even follow the rules. So then after some times, the mind switched because you don't want to hate yourself. And then the devotees start to say, actually, I'm on Raganuga. And then they become again very so-called happy, but this is a shadow happy. It's not nothing from some bhakti or something, but they feel better. Now they are on Raganuga. They have not to chant 16 rounds. Even they can make some other nonsense, but this is Raganuga and you cannot understand. It is not only one. There's many devotees are like this. I know it. I was also in one time I was falling down completely and there was some border. I was feeling exactly like this. And I have to choose. Take this, new imitation, or this. But it was clear for me. And then
Come here. It's nice to see your face when you're talking. Yeah, and then when I was falling down,
One second.
and then I was also in the middle. So I could not more in this 6 months, I have made many nonsense, let's say. And then because it was too much nonsense,
on the mic.
it was too much nonsense. Start again. From the part where you said. Yeah, and then also I was falling in my 20 years. Look here. In my 20 years, I was falling down fully, let's say 6 months. This was full completely. I have to do every nonsense what can be done, but not only this 6 months. Otherwise, really, I have not some never I broke the 4 rules and regulations, even no masturbation, nothing. All this 20 years. But these 6 months, I have to do everything. And it was so heavy for me because from the beginning, I was so strict. And Maya should find some way to break me to come to all this nonsense. But it was not so easy, not in one day. So 1 day, 3 days, 1 week, second week, and then, but somehow other, I was going to all this nonsense, and then illicit sex started. Then I asked my old temple president, he was from ISKCON, without name calling now. So temple president in Germany, let's say, only because maybe he's watching some one day. And I called him. No, this was by chance. I came in contact with him. Then I told him, oh my God, Prabhu, I fell down. I was thinking it cannot come to me. I'm finished. I have now relationship with 2 girls even. And he said, he was very strict in the beginning. Then he was preaching to many Mayavadis. And in Germany, this is called Yoga Vidya. There's now very new preaching to go to the Yoga Vidya people and make them kirtan. But actually he became one of them. But he cannot more be aware of it. I can see because I know like what he was before, how strict. And then he told me, I think I grow more than 25 years in Krishna consciousness. I was in the beginning very fanatic. So very fanatic Vaidhi Bhakti. But now I grow and I have also some relationships, but I don't care. It's okay. Because I feel that's good for me. And I was thinking, I was shocked. Why I was asking him. If I follow him, then what becomes with me then? And maybe I start also to. And then I said, okay, Prabhu, sorry, but that's not, no. But even my mind wanted to say also to me, I look in the mirror and I go, the question was, yes, I'm 20 years of Krishna. Now, yes, I must. Okay, this is maybe normal. Maybe this is a higher stage or something even. I said, and then in next second, you rascal, don't think. But this was the beginning. If someone come to this stage, maybe fall down or something, and he was very strict in the beginning, and then some fall down comes, but then he has always to choose. Go again, stand up, and very strictly follow every rules and regulation, or make a new philosophy because it's so difficult to come back to the standard. So then most devotees start to say, yeah, but look, I'm really growing so many years in Krishna consciousness. I'm not more fanatic. You are in the beginning, rules and regulations. But Rupa Goswami, in Nectar of Devotion, he say that even if it would be true that someone of us come in some time or in the future on really platform of Raganuga, spontaneous devotion service, even because Kali Yuga is such a heavy age that our propensity of cheating ourselves, all the 4 defects, it's so huge that everyone, after even, I know even some devotees, after 40 years, what was in ISKCON, this Gopi Bhava club even. So this so-called Swamis, Prabhupada's senior disciples, more than 40 years, 50 years now. And they started to become full sahaja, thinking they're gopis or whatever, in a secret club, like a Freemason or Illuminati, they have a secret club. And in ISKCON, there was also a secret club, Gopi Bhava Club. You can be the member. But this is completely nonsense. Even after 40, 50 years, it is possible to fall down and imitate such a position because you're frustrated after so many years, you get not really by Yoga Maya in such a position internally. Thought you play it externally and make a big show and you believe it yourself. That's the best. You believe it
and you have some happiness even by this. But it is not coming from Yoga Maya, it is Mahamaya. Like you take one line cocaine or some alcohol and you feel very big. This same feeling, it's intoxication by Maya. Prabhupada say every sense enjoyment is actually your intoxication. So we can make a show and believe it's ourselves because we want attention of others, that we are big guy now. We have not to follow some rules and regulations.
What?
The Prabhupada disciple jumped.
One second, the last, 1 second.
He has to wait.
And then the point is that even if we are, now I have explained only this cheating propensity of ourselves. Even in this first year of Krishna consciousness, I remember myself. I was chanting my rounds. I was chanting my rounds in the first year. I was alone at my flat, on my couch. And somehow or other, in the middle of the 16 rounds, I felt in sleep. But I stand up 2 hours later maybe. I was looking to the watch. Where are the 2 hours now? What was happened? Because, oh my God, I'm on the level on trance. I think this is samadhi. But you are laughing now, and I also. But this time I was believing 108% that I'm on this level.
109.
Yes, yes, 108. And then if some other devotees came from ISKCON later, I was looking like this. And they were speaking to me, and he cannot understand on what level I am. And somehow or other, later on, by some heavy devotee preaching and reading the books and Prabhupada and Krishna help everything, I was like, my God, I think this is Maya. And then I come to know how this is working. Oh my God, if I would believe it, I was run maybe 10, 20 years in this consciousness. And then some other activities must come also, if you believe it. And all this is like a Hollywood movie shadow. And you are full in this movie and you believe it. Maybe you start like Gaurahari, crying in the oh my God. And you can even train yourself and then tears even coming. That's no problem. If you want to have this movie to be now Krishna or to get all the attention, energy, to suck the energy of others, means Asura, not to give the credit for other Vaishnava or Krishna. So in exchange, bhakti, give bhakti, energy to Krishna, and then get happiness. You must take the energy from others. You want to be the Hollywood movie star, and you must suck now the others. You make externally by Mahamaya a show. And yeah, but you believe all the time this show, and then you get even supporters, also stupid, they believe it also. And sometimes they are feeling also something, and they're thinking, oh, that's bhakti. No, yeah, this is also going on. And especially Rupa Goswami, everyone can read. I don't know exactly now which page and all this, but you can prove. In Nectar of Devotion, he said that even if someone touches or comes to the platform of Raganuga, in reality even, he should always play a neophyte Vaidhi Bhakti devotee, so that on his example, not others, neophyte, they come to Krishna consciousness, start to imitate this, and then immediately from beginnings they become sahachas and have never the experience how difficult it is to follow the discipline and all the rules and regulations. Because this is also starting bhakti that Krishna wants to see. That so heavy rules and regulations, okay, maybe for someone, no having sex, no this, no masturbation, no girls, not even with my own wife, no intoxication, not gambling. And for many years we follow it. Every day, 16 rounds, sick or not sick. And then after some time, Krishna, wow, he's chanting these 16 rounds every day without taste even. And for so many years. But he wants to get it. Okay, now I give my mercy. So, but without this, immediately to start maybe even with some so-called Raganuga or something. Therefore, even if someone would be on this platform, he should follow every single rule and regulation because not to cheat others and not to cheat ourselves. Because when we are only in imagination on this platform and we don't chant 60 rounds anymore and do some other things not more, then how we can make even progress? So even if we want to be cheated ourselves, then we are on the security if we follow all the rules and outsidely, externally. And okay, if you think, okay, we are some smarana, thinking we are following some Yashoda or some Gopi in the footstep of Rajbhadis to get this, to come in this spontaneous mood. Okay, we can do it, but nobody should know. Take it as your secret. Do it, but externally, everyone should know you are a standard devotee of Srila Prabhupada, following every rule and regulation. Then Prabhupada is 108% happy. We cannot be cheat ourselves and no cheat others. That should be the example.
Haribo.
Haribol, Hare Krishna.
Stay. Janas Priya Prabhu has something to share with us also. Please do. Janas Priya, not Priya. My mistake.
Okay, you can speak.
Oh,
Janas Priya.
Jonas Priya, bro. Jonas Priya. Jonas Priya, bro. Are you there?
Haribol,
Hare Krishna.
you could hear me okay?
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this has happened to me. I've been a devotee 52 years. So 52 years, you have your ups and downs, you know. And the most important thing is association. If we keep good association, even though we might not fall down or slip, you know, and as long as it's not intentional, it's the fall down, if it's accidental, then it's rectifiable. But if we premeditate and say, oh, you know, I'm just tired of following all these rules, I'm just gonna go for my old habits, and we going with that consciousness, then that's a little harder to rectify. So that's what Prabhupada taught us, that if you fall down, it should be accidental. Never that we premeditate that I'm going to fall down because I want to take a break from Krishna consciousness. I want to go back to the mud, roll in the mud a little more. So this could happen to anybody, really. If we hang with the wrong devotees and we become influenced, it's just like you might not have any interest in stealing a car. But if you make friends with somebody that is in a gang that they steal cars, then you might start, not by stealing cars, but maybe going with them and being one of the people watching out. And before you know what happens, you are stealing the cars. So in the same way as the bodies, if we hang out with the wrong type of person, then that their influence would also make us break the principles. And because you think, oh, they're doing it, and they might be even senior devotees. There's many senior devotees that they're living almost, they might be vegetarians, and they still wear neck beads and they go to the Sunday feast. But that doesn't mean they're devotees, you know.
Good.
So what is a devotee? If we break, when we take initiation, we take the vow that we're gonna follow 4 rules, 16 rounds, and you know, morning, evening class, water, tulsi, offer our food. That's like the minimum. And we simply do that, and we pray to Krishna. Krishna, please keep me in the association of the devotees. This is the most important thing. And the right kind of devotee, the one that is actually a disciple. The word disciple means discipline. To be a disciple, you have to follow the discipline. So anybody that claims to be a disciple of Srila Prabhupada is not following, then he's not really a disciple. He might want to be, and that's okay, because it is a process and we all come with different baggages. Like you might have this experience that two friends join the temple and one becomes a devotee and stays a devotee, and the other friend doesn't stay, stays for whatever time, a short time. That's because we have, there's two kinds of mercy. We could come with previous pious activities where we given the extra chance to become hooked up with devotional service, or by direct divine intervention, like becoming in contact with a very sincere disciple of Srila Prabhupada or with Srila Prabhupada directly. And how do we become in contact with Prabhupada? By reading his books. So if you just pick Prabhupada's book, force, if you don't have the initiative, force yourself. Just the same way, if you don't have the enthusiasm to pick up your beads and chant, we have to force ourselves to do it. And after you force yourself for some time, then automatically you start enjoying the process. And the austerities for us, it's some people perform many austerities in the mode of ignorance, and that's not necessary. The austerity for a Vaishnava is to follow the orders of his spiritual master. And if one has taken the vows, then we should try and treasure whatever time we've been chanting. If you've been chanting for 1 month, you have a 1 month treasure. If you've been chanting 20 years, you have a treasure of 20 years. And the more that you stick to it, you become so attached to this bhakti treasure. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, in this endeavor, there's no loss or diminution, which means whatever advancement we have made, that's always going to be there. We just have to be sincere, and we could not be pretenders, we could not be fake, pretend to be what we're not. Understand the platform we are on and pray to Krishna to help us move forward. And that happens through sadhana bhakti and following the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Robin, can I speak?
Yes, I will.
Hare Okay. Hare Krishna. Just before we get to Nityananda Prabhu, because he's got his hand up, please try to keep these comments and questions actually short, because actually Prabhupada's giving the class, and if we go along too long, we forget whatever Prabhupada was actually saying. So please keep it. Sorry, I'm saying it now. I should have said it before, but okay. Nityananda Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Dhanavad pranams. Yeah, I just want to share something. I've been hearing about Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. Just want to share about some misconceptions that we sometimes get ourselves in. That
Sorry, I'm gonna really stop you right there, because this is not a topic about Raganuga or is that okay? Yeah, it's not about that. So can we have this clarification in another topic and another class from you, or at the end? Actually, yeah, if you say that, Srila Prabhupada will finish his class, because right now Srila Prabhupada is talking about
we're so busy with Srila Prabhupada's class. That's fine.
So
that's fine. If we ask,
I'd love to hear you at the end of the class.
That's fine. We are still busy with Srila Prabhupada's class. I thought that it was the end of the class. That's fine. What I'll do is I'll speak about this in part of my on my day when I have my turn to speak.
Also today, at the end of Prabhupada's class, it's not
in the end of the Prabhupada's class.
Right?
We want to. I want to hear you, but later.
Wait, Robin. Should I mute?
Okay.
Yeah, it depends. I told you yesterday, if you speak in this camera, then you don't need to unmute. If you want to speak in this camera, then you need to
Okay, but
unmute.
we're speaking from here. We're speaking from here.
Then
We're,
I need to-
we're
every
speaking
time I
from
need to
here.
mute
Okay, okay.
the TV.
Oh,
Otherwise,
We're speaking from here. So it's muted. It's correct now? Yeah?
yeah, but I have to constantly mute and unmute the TV.
Go ahead.
because I
Okay,
speak
so
like
you
it.
can do that
That's
as
the problem.
service. I'm also doing lots of stuff here. Okay, we can talk now here.
Yes.
Okay, so Nityananda Prabhu, yeah, we'd love to hear actually what you want to say about that. So it's just another 10-15 minutes Prabhupada's
Sure,
lecture. We
okay.
take questions about the lecture and then we'd love to hear you. I'm not saying no.
Okay.
Please.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
Hare Krishna.
Hare
We're
Krishna.
going ahead with Prabhupada's lecture now. Haribol.
So, this world is creation of Krishna. Matta sarvang pravartate aham adirhi devanam. So, we may think that Brahma created this universe, but not. That is not the fact. Krishna said, aham adirhi devanam. I am prior to the all the demigods. He is the origin of the demigod. Aham adirhi devana. Matta sarvang pravartate. Everything emanates from him. Oh, therefore Krishna's name is Bhava Bhavana. Bhava Bhava. This word is called Bhava Samsara. Bhava Samsara. Bhava means become. There is another nature, spiritual word. That is not bhava, that does not become. It is always existing. Nitya. Nitya lok, Vaikuntha lok. But this material world is called bhava. Bhava samsara. Bhava means it appears and again disappears. Everything here, just like your body, my body, it has appeared at a certain date and it will disappear at a certain date. Similarly, the whole universal body also. It has appeared at a certain date and it will disappear at a certain date. So, bhutta praliyate. It becomes manifested, again it becomes disappear. Therefore, it is called bhavasamsara. But still, although it is temporary, the arrangement is so nice. Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate. Everything is complete. It is not false. The Mayavadi, they say, this world is false. We don't say this. Why it is false? It is perfectly created by Krishna. Why I discredit Krishna? It is false. No, it is not false. It is reality. Provided you know how to utilize it. When you think that you are the enjoyer of this world, that is false. You are not the enjoyer. Is Krishna. That is reality. Bhoktaram jagutavasam. Sarvalokamaya. Then it is reality. As soon as you think, this is mine, this is mine, aham mameti. Aham mameti. I am this body and anything in relationship with this body is mine. That is moha. But as soon as you come to the understand, nay, what is that?
Bullock cart.
All right. So, Bhava Krishna, this world is created by Krishna and he wants to see it is properly maintained. And will maintain his own representative. not the demons. Therefore, king is supposed to be a representative of Krishna. He will maintain this world properly. A Vaishnava, he knows how to utilize everything for Krishna. The aim of this creation is giving these conditioned souls another chance for liberation. That is the purpose. When the whole world is annihilated, then all the living entities again enter into the body of Mahavishnu. Then when there is again creation, then the living entities again come out according to their past position. We do not accept this rascal theory, Darwin's, that from lower grade life there is a promotion like that. But in the creation, everything is there. All the 8,400,000 species, they are all there. Although the gradations are there. So, according to the past karma, karmana daimanatrena, everyone comes out again, gets a different type of body and begins his work. Again another chance. Yes, come to the point of human understanding. Try to understand your relationship with Krishna and get yourself liberated. Go home, back to home, back. If you lose this opportunity, this creation is made for that purpose. Then again you remain. Again when everything is annihilated, you remain in dormant stage, millions of years. Again you become created. So there is a great science. Everyone should try to understand what is the responsibility of human life and to teach this responsibility, to keep men, the human society, in their responsibility. A good king is required, like Maharaj Yudhishthira. Therefore, king is supposed to be the representative of God. So after killing these demons, Kuru Vangsha Davagni Nirahata, Sangrohitya Bhavabhavana Hari, Niveshaitya Nijaraja Ishara Yudhishtiram. When he saw now Maharaj Yudhishthira is situated on the throne for the control of the world, he Pritamana Bhuva, he became satisfied. There is my real representative and he will work nicely. So these two things are going on. Those who are trying to capture the governmental power for his personal ambition, they will be killed. They will be killed. This way, that way, they will be killed. And persons who are taking responsibility for maintenance of the government as representative of Krishna, they will be blessed by Krishna, and Krishna will be pleased. So at the present moment, the so-called democracy, nobody is representative of Krishna. Everyone is demons. Everyone is a demon. So how we can expect peace and prosperity under this government? This is not possible. If you want, we have got to think politically also, because after all living entities are part and parcel of Krishna, and Krishna wants their welfare so that they may come back to home, back to God. It is the duty of the Vaishnava to see that people are gradually educated to Krishna consciousness. So, perhaps it would be better if we also capture political power. As there are many parties, Communist Party, Congress party, this party, that party. So there must be one Krishna's party. Why not? Then people will be happy. If Krishna's party comes to the governmental post, that immediately there will be peace. And in India there are so many slaughterhouses. There are, it is said that 10,000 cows are being killed every day. In the land where one cow was being attempted to be killed, immediately Maharaj Parikshit took his advice. In that land, now 10,000 cows are being killed every day. So you expect peace? You expect prosperity? This is not possible. Therefore, if someday Krishna's representative take the governmental power, then he will immediately stop all these slaughterhouses, all these brothels, all these liquor houses. Then there will be peace and prosperity. Bhuta Bhava. Krishna will be pleased. Here is my representative. So there are so many things to understand from Srimad Bhagavatam. Full knowledge, all knowledge, as it is required by the human society. So we have to study from all angles of his hand, not simply by sentiment. This is Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you very much.
Can speak in this kind. No. Can I have it here? No. One second.
Okay. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Hope you enjoyed that wonderful, wonderful lecture encompassing many aspects of Krishna consciousness. Please do bring forward any comments and questions. In the meantime, I don't see any hands right now. I'll just share a comment that I saw right at the beginning. Srila Prabhupada very nicely told us a little bit about Krishna's pastimes and how Krishna was so transcendently wonderful that he knew each demon took a particular shape, an animal, and Krishna knew that animal, how to kill that animal, how to control that animal. And he said the example of like, who was the horse demon?
Keshi, huh?
This Keshi, I think it was a different one. But anyway, the horse demon that Krishna knew that he could control him by his mouth. So Krishna punched through, put his fist into the horse and controlled him and killed him like that. And with the other demon, who was the other demon? Oh, the bull, he said. The bull demon. He said Krishna knew he had to control him, catch him by the horns. So in a similar way, we have to be also a little bit intelligent and introspective and honest to ourselves and see our own mind and see that that demon of the mind is also a demon. And we know how that demon operates because that mind is a false, is a false representative exactly of yourself, you. There's real ego and then false ego. So it's a shadow of you. So you know your mind. So you can catch that mind and control it and try to not kill it, because in this age we don't kill, and engage it in Krishna's service. And Prabhupada already has given us how and what service we should do. Just chant in the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and read the name, form, pastimes of the Lord. In a similar way, we got to be transcendently intelligent. And when we have a problem, let's say, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Yuga avatar now, so he's not killing anyone. Not like Krishna. Krishna killed the demons, and that's one way he liberated them. But Chaitanya was like, okay, we got to win over the false ego to make them devotees. There's no killing in this age. So in a similar way, we have a problem, let's say, with some devotees or some devotees within Prabhupada's organization, ISKCON, and we've got to figure out intelligently and a nice way, find that place that we got to catch and then manipulate it or use it in such a way to bring them back, not to kill, but to bring them back to favorably representing Srila Prabhupada. And you know, each person has their own unique skill. You can do it by philosophy or this or that. So just like Krishna did it with the demons, he killed them. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not killing, but he's defeating with philosophy and with behavior.
Nityananda.
Nityananda Prabhu, would you like to share
Yeah.
that comment or anything else that you wanted to say, Prabhu?
Yes, very wonderful class by Srila Prabhupada. Yes, so I just wanted to share this. I've been hearing about Raganuga Bhakti and Vaidhi Bhakti for the past few days, a few classes now. I just want to give my comment on this, that we sometimes, because of the conditioning of, I would say, I don't know if it's ISKCON, but Srila Prabhupada has given us clear instructions from our nectar of devotion. And if we look at Srila Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami, there's no way that it's first Vaidhi Bhakti and then Raganuga Bhakti. It's not like we have to first practice Vaidhi Bhakti and then Raganuga Bhakti comes upon us. So basically, in no scripture it is written that we should first practice Vaidhi Bhakti and then Raganuga. There is no need to mix the two. So it is not that one is a lower stage and one is an advanced version. It is just that the parts of Vaidhi and Raganuga are just known to be separate from each other. You can confirm this in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.3.7. Srila Rupa Goswami states this, that these are just the two forms of worship that awaken totally different varieties of bhava. Whereas Vaidhi Bhakti bestows upon the sadhika liberation or into Vaikuntha, the Vaikuntha atmosphere. And where Raganuga Bhakti bestows the devotee the bhav of attaining Goloka Vrindavan. Because ultimately it's the feeling. Raganuga Bhakti is, Srila Rupa Goswami explains in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that the appearance of an eternal perfect feeling within the heart is called the stage of the attainment of perfection. This is basically the sadhana bhakti that Raganuga Bhakti performs, and the Vaidhi Bhakti performs is different in terms of feeling only. The rules and regulations are still there. The standards are still there for both the sadhikas, for both the Vaidhi Bhakta and the Raganuga Bhakta. The standards of the rules and regulations are still there, but it's just the differentiation is just the feeling. That the Vaidhi Bhakta does it out of fear or scriptural injunctions, where they've been told that if you don't do this, this is going to happen, or if you do this, you're going to get some benefit. Whereas the Raganuga Bhakta does it just purely based on the feeling, not considering whether it is they're going to get a reward or out of a fear of punishment from that. So, the devotees can actually check me on this, because as what I've understood and what I've read, there is no way in scripture that, that you first practice Vaidhi Bhakti and then Raganuga Bhakti. But you can check me on this. And if so, the devotees can also let me know that at what stage of Bhakti, what stage of our practicing of Bhakti do we actually attain Raganuga Bhakti, from Adushrada to Sadhu Sangha to Bhajana Kriya, Nartana Vritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, and Prema. At what stage does Raganuga Bhakti start? Because there's no way in scripture that is actually stated that Raganuga Bhakti starts at a certain, after you attain, or after you finish Anatana Vritti, that this is when Raganuga Bhakti starts. So there is, Srila Rupa Goswami wrote a lot of books, so all Goswamis, especially Srila Jiva Goswami as well. And we should also look into that. Srila Prabhupada urged us. There's a lot of quotes from Srila Prabhupada in his lectures, especially. Srila Prabhupada encourages devotees who are advanced to read these scriptures in his lectures. I can share that with some of the devotees if they want, like Srila Bilva Mangal Thakur's writings in Krishna Karandamrita Kavya. So yeah, I just wanted to make that point and just share that comment with everybody. Hare Krishna.
Just before Maturapati gives us a long, detailed explanation, I just want to say something quickly. Up to now, I'm not a big reader. I have to admit that. That's true. But up to now, in all my association with Srila Prabhupada and Krishna consciousness for 25 years, I've never come across where Vaidhi Bhakti, Raganuga Bhakti is a different path or awakens with some other process. I've always heard and read and found, and I've built up a file also of quotes, which I'll happily share with you, Nityananda Prabhu, where Srila Prabhupada himself is saying the practice of Vaidhi, is under rules and regulations because
Yes.
we're so contaminated. It's our original state to love Krishna, but we're so contaminated by layers and layers of materialism. And now the Vaidhi path is used to remove those layers. And as we remove those layers, our original feelings, which is of course spontaneous love, prema bhakti, will come to awakened state. So basically, if you have an arranged marriage, Srila Prabhupada said, first you're doing relationship out of duty. You don't love the person. Arranged marriage, you know, they put together, okay, I don't love her, but I have to do the husband's duty, you do it. And then after some time, feelings, loving feelings start to come. So when that loving feelings start to come, that's the beginning of, let's say, Raganuga, Prema, whatever you want to call it. It's just the manifestations of now your service, same service, cooking for them, washing their feet, loving them, kissing them. Before you had no feelings, and now you start to get feelings. So that's the Raganuga stage. It's a natural, let's call it evolution or peeling, but it's a process. Vaidhi leads to Prema, Raganuga. Absolutely, Srila Prabhupada says that many times. Maybe he says other things also that I haven't read yet. I can say that. Okay, Mathura Prabhu, go ahead.
Yeah, Haribol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, it's what Nityananda Prabhu said. I have also read that that Raganuga and Vaidhi Bhakti should not be separated, so separated or something.
No, he said it is separated. He said it's two different paths, two different things.
Parts of Vaidhi and Raganuga Bhakti are known to be separated from each other. This is what Srila Rupa Goswami says. And you can you looked it up in Bhakti Rasamrita 1.3.7. Srila Rupa Goswami says that the parts of Vaidhi and Raganuga Bhakti are known to be separated from each other. These two forms of worship certainly awaken two totally different, distinct varieties of bhava.
Yeah, but you said that from Kanishta, not automatically someone can go to Raganuga. So this I mean. So and Prabhupada was full in knowledge about this very sensitive topic, and therefore, if we read all Prabhupada's books, we can sometimes even there was some group on internet, some Raganuga group, they call themselves like this. They chant some Goranga mantras, some others. I don't know now the name exactly. And they have even said, or they find out, that Prabhupada have even sometimes translated something not in their, so it was not so perfect, they say. It was not so perfect, because how he always rules and regulation and this and that, and they say actually it is not like that. But why Prabhupada have sometimes always fixed us up in some rules and regulation? Because sometimes his devotees, they say, oh, you follow now this Siddha Pranali, something, and they wanted to go immediately to Radhakund and sit there and chant 300 or 200 or whatever, more than 100 rounds. And Prabhupada became immediately very upset. He said, this is completely cheating now. They destroy our movement. If this is going on, there's no more preaching, and all these neophytes now go in this illusion as sitting on Radhakund and doing this cheating process, Siddha Pranali, what Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave. Okay, there are so many things, but now that's the point is that if we read only, let's say, Bhaktivinoda Thakur or Rupa Goswami, therefore Prabhupada have created this nectar of devotion and something, because he know that everyone in Kali Yuga, not only Westerners, but everyone, therefore Bhaktisiddhanta has said sometimes that even there is no Vaishnava in all Vrindavan. Prabhupada say all the cheetahs are sitting in Radhakund. So therefore in Radhakund, I know many Babajis there. Most of them, they don't even accept Prabhupada as a real guru. They told me every time. I was so upset with them. They say he's some hippie guru, even Bhaktisiddhanti they don't accept, because they are thinking that Bhaktivinoda Thakur, real guru was Diksha guru was Bipin Bihari Goswami. And if someone have not understood, okay, that's actually Jagannath Das Babaji, and then from Bhaktivinoda Thakur comes really Bhaktisiddhanta, even if this Diksha could not be understood by someone.
Yeah.
But it is the real and then Prabhupada. And Prabhupada gave us specially, by time, place, and circumstances, some special medicine. So he have said, no, go not now directly in this Raganuga or something. He wanted always rules, and regulation. But everyone who followed these rules and regulation very strict in the beginning, how we can have raga. So it's also clear actually that, okay, someone can come from his next past life here and immediately he have done all this process in past life. Okay, then he can start directly with Raganuga, it's for sure. So, but mostly of us, they have no raga. Absolutely, they must be forced always to stand up in the morning to chant even only the 16 rounds. Even there is need of force, and even in Madhurya Kadambini, I think it's Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, maybe correct me, but yes. I think. But in this book, it is said, okay, Vaidhi Bhakti actually, it comes from the Gyan part even. So I know by knowledge that I should do this now, what my master told me. Yeah. It's not by spontaneous raga that I want to follow it, but I must. I don't want to go to hell. I don't want to have a next life or whatever. So it's Gyan, knowledge. By knowledge, I follow. But it's also bhakti, but Prabhupada say, actually, it's not the real bhakti. If some yogi, or like Shukadev Goswami or the Kumaras, from beginning, there was liberated. They were liberated souls, impersonally liberated. But Prabhupada says also, if someone is liberated on an impersonal platform, have some other get what kind of yoga path, okay, no problem, I don't care. But some yoga path, even impersonal, he gets some Brahma Bhuta. So means he's really liberated, not in imitation, not in imagination, really. And mostly this is also imagination. Let's say someone is really liberated. Then he start immediately, if he come to bhakti, automatically, so that's say the Shastra, he start with raga immediately. So, but we are not liberated on some yoga process impersonal. So we do the same what others, like Shukadev Goswami or the Kumaras, to get liberation, they took some impersonal path. So, and then they are liberated, then they start immediately with raga, so it was nice, higher devotional service. So, but we start not with some other yoga process, we start also with bhakti yoga. But of course, because we are not liberated, so we want to be liberated or to come to this platform, we start with sadhana bhakti on rules and regulation. So, and we do it, if we do it by force, not by taste, maybe some taste between is also sometimes taste and sometimes not, but we must do it because our master told us we must do it. So then after some time, it is not wrong to say that to follow this, there is a chance to get so much higher taste, maybe by chanting, or maybe we start by Krishna, Katha, so that spontaneously we are full in hearing this Katha always. Maybe we start or remembering Smaranam always. We are driving by car, in the bus, in the train, maybe we cannot more stop to think about some Leela. Okay. Then, but in the same time, okay, we are in the temple and following all the rules. So then we can also, like this, we can come to Raganuga automatically somewhere also. If someone, Raga means spontaneous attachment to all this, especially to Shravanam Kirtanam. So this can be a get even by rules and regulation, but in same time, okay, in the scriptures we read, you are right, I know, but in same time it can be also in same time. If someone is doing all the rules and follow the rules and regulation, maybe on one day, I don't know, in 1 year or 10 years or 50 years or whatever, he gets such a taste and automatically he can go. But Rupa Goswami, if you know, that
Yeah, you
Prabhupada
see,
quote in Nectar of Devotion, he say, even if someone follow this Raganuga, but externally he should always play a neophyte devotee following every rules and regulations, so that some new beginner come, maybe they have not this raga from last life, they
yeah,
must
there is no
follow the
difference
rules,
with that.
otherwise they become
Yeah.
immediately acha.
Yeah.
So this was my
100% agree with that. So yeah, there is no differentiation between following the rules and regulations. That's a must, whether you're a Raganuga Bhakti or Vairi Bhakti. That was just my point, that like, you know, the only difference is that the mood that is different. The mood in which, see, the Vairi Bhakta, they follow scriptural injunctions. And the Raganuga Bhakta, he follows the same, he does the same chanting. Like as you mentioned now, you have to force him to get up to chant. And Vairi Bhakti process, you know, scriptural injunctions will benefit me. But a Raganuga Bhakta is, you know, he urges, he wants to chant. He wakes up, he wants to chant more. So this is the mood, is the feeling. I want to serve. So there's a thing. So that's the point that I wanted to explain, which you actually cleared up for me. And also, yeah, coming back to, you know, I'm here in Sri Vrindavanam. I've also went to Radhakund. I've met some Babajis. So I understand where you're coming from, where they say that they don't understand. See, the thing is that they don't understand Srila Prabhupada. They don't understand Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. That is the problem. Because they are, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur took initiation from Gaur Kishore Das Babaji because he wanted to get rid of this Jati Sampradaya. The Jati Sampradaya means from the seminal Sampradaya, from father to son. He wanted to show that even if one is Sudra, wherever, if one gets qualified, they can become a disciple. They can become. And Prabhupada, and that's why he also gave instruction to his disciple, and Prabhupada took that seriously. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur wanted to make that. So who cares for how they write the history books? Who cares for what they say? You know, those Babu, whoever. We know from Srila Prabhupada, from our history, from what Srila Prabhupada gives us, or what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives us, that this is our process of how we practice it. But we also have to know that Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami is a Raganuga Bhakta. And we, all the Vaishnavas, all of us, we are Rupanugas. That's who we are. We are Rupanugas. We are Raganuga Bhaktas, basically, because Srila Rupa Goswami is and Srila Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari, right? So we understand this. And that's what I'm saying. At no stage, there is not a certain stage that, okay, fine, now I'm qualified to practice Raganuga Bhakti. That's all I'm trying to say. There's not a stage from where the 9 processes are, where you practice Adhushraddha, and then Sadhu Sangha, and then Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, and Prema. There is no time that you can say, okay, when after Anartha Nivritti, that's when I'm on a Raganuga Bhakti stage. No. That's why Raganuga Bhakti comes when the devotee feels, when he has that feeling, he says, now I'm doing this not because I am forced to, not because of rules and regulations, but the destination for the Vaidya. That's what I'm saying. So devotees shouldn't stay on this level of, I'm on a scriptural injunctions out of fear or reward. They should do it out of love for Sri Krishna and for Srila Prabhupada, to serve the Guru. Because there's 2 destinations. If one remains a Vaidya Bhakta and then he dies a Vaidya Bhakta, what happens is that they will enter into only Vaikuntha. Whereas one is a Raganuga Bhakta, they will enter into Goloka Vrindavan and eternally associate with Sri Krishna. Because only with Rag can you get Krishna. In Chaitanya Charitamrita says that only through Rag one attains Krishna in Vraja. Only through Rag. There's no scriptural injunction. Krishna's worshipped as God in Goloka Vrindavan. And so, yeah, as long as we understand that, that's all the point that I just wanted to make. That
Okay, I am in myself. So
basically, Vaidya Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti are smooth.
Okay.
Okay, Jai.
Yes.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. If anybody wants to.
Oh yeah, I'd like to comment. I'd like to share.
Here will come close to.
Yeah, come here.
Come close to the
camera is on. Wait, the picture is on.
Yeah, I could.
Don't worry, just come
I'll
out
turn
to
it
the
on.
side.
Here, more here.
Come close.
Okay, the system is good. They can hear you well.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Come nearer, nearer.
Near?
No,
Okay.
no.
You can't see anything.
Just stand on your knees. Go on your knees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I see you.
We see you. Look.
Okay.
There you are.
Hare
Hare
Krishna. Hare Krishna, Nityananda.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I'd like to share something with the devotees. Perhaps afterwards you can comment on my understanding of this, what I've understood from you yourselves and Prabhupada. On Raganuga Bhakti. My understanding from what I'm hearing is that the problem isn't Raganuga Bhakti, it's false Raganuga Bhaktas and real Raganuga Bhaktas. And there's no problem with the real ones, only the false ones. That's what I mean. So my understanding is that if someone is a real Raganuga Bhakti, they have a very light mood, like the gopis when they were asked to give the dust of their feet to Krishna for his head. Immediately they gave, no problem. Very light mood, they will do anything. But with that light mood, there's also a qualification. So if someone is Raganuga Bhakta and for some reason they said, oh, let's follow the rules and regs for 2 weeks for Krishna, it's a good idea, we'll do it. Immediately they'd have the qualification also, and they'd be like, yeah, okay, let's do it. And then they'd do very well at it. But if someone is a false Raganuga Bhakta and someone says, oh, let's follow the rules and regs for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, somewhere they fail very miserably, because even though it's being done for Krishna, it's not actually, there's no qualification there. If that's my understanding, is that the Raganuga isn't a problem. And some people make out the Raganuga is a problem. And then some people make out that, that the problem is with also sometimes the rules and the regulations, and there's a problem with neither. It's only the disingenuous practice of it. So perhaps you could.
Yes, you're right.
Perhaps you could say
right.
something, Nityananda Prabhu, and also other Prabhus here.
Yeah, we don't want to go too much into this topic. It's not really.
Hare Krishna. Oh, sorry.
Hare Krishna. I said Srila Prabhupada gave us the topmost. He gave us the highest that we can ever achieve. Srila Prabhupada, so Vaidhi Bhakti is meant for everyone. But Raganuga Bhakti, one has to qualify for that. That's the qualification. So everybody can practice the rules and regulations, scriptural injunctions. But it's only a sadhika who has the bhav that can actually. It's only the radhika that has the bhav that can attain Raganuga Bhakti.
Okay.
So
I can unmute myself, right?
1 second. I will turn on off speaker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something more, Prabhu?
Yes, sir. I couldn't hear Nityananda, the last part you said. What was
Nityananda Prabhu, can you repeat what you said last?
Yeah, sure. I said that Srila Prabhupada, so Vaidhi Bhakti is what Srila Prabhupada gave everyone. This is what we gave us. But Srila Prabhupada also gave us Raganuga Bhakti. He gave us the topmost. Vaidhi Bhakti is meant for everyone. Everybody can practice Vaidhi Bhakti. Everybody's qualified to practice Vaidhi Bhakti. Scriptural injunctions, that's what it is. It's simple rules and regulations. And also Raganuga Bhakta also has to practice rules and regulations. It's not that the Raganuga Bhakta, once you become a Raganuga Bhakta, now I'm devoid. I don't have to practice any rules. I don't have to wake up into Mangalarti. I don't have to chant my rounds. No, you have to. A Raganuga Bhakta actually does more, because a Raganuga Bhakta is doing it out of feeling. That is the point. Right? So at no point that the rules and regulations are different for the Raganuga Bhakta to the Vaidhi. It's only the feeling that is there. That is why one has to qualify to become a Raganuga Bhakta. Vaidhi Bhakti is there, but one has to qualify by their love, by their mood, by their bhava. And that's when one is known as a Raganuga Bhakta. But it doesn't mean that one started off as a Vaidhi Bhakti and now is a Raganuga Bhakta. They were always a Raganuga Bhakta because they came to that platform, if you understand what I'm saying. Because both the Vaidhi Bhakta and both the Raganuga Bhakta are practicing the scriptural injunctions. The seed that is latent within the heart, in the Bhakti Lata Bicha, you will never know if that vine, that Bhakti Lata Kripa is going to flower. Only when that vine flowers, then you will see, oh, this is a Raganuga Bhakta. So it's just like that. Both are practicing. But it doesn't mean that, oh, now I've qualified, now I'm a Raganuga. That devotee who's attained Raganuga Bhakta was always a Raganuga Bhakta. It was just that he had to develop that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it brings up a question, actually. I have a question now. Like, among devotees, this seems to be like it's always such an issue. So I'll ask about it. Like in Raganuga Bhakti, there's always this extreme example where breaking of the regulation principles does happen, and why is this such a problem with devotees, and why does this extreme example of breaking the regulative principles and it being somehow legal or excused, or where does this come from? With this rare exception of a Raganuga Bhakti, like I guess it's the example is Lord Chaitanya lying down in dirty pots, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
More Lord Nityananda.
More Lord Nityananda.
He's completely Avaduta.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, so where does this come from? Where does this come from when it's legal or when it's excused? And why is it such a difficulty for devotees that they have such a difficulty with this topic? Like, why is this where is it coming from, Prabhu? This legal thing, where it is?
There's no, well, from what I can understand, the devotees who do that, that is their own misconception. Their Maya eludes them from the actual purpose. Scriptural injunctions is like Srila Prabhupada gives many examples about this. He gives many leelas, he gives many stories. Like even with one Brahman, like there's like, okay, let me give this one story. I'm sure we all know the story where the Brahman that put his hand into the sweet rice and he got burnt. Yeah. We're not supposed to do that. But then that's the bhav. He had the bhav, he wanted to check. And that's the bhav. So that can happen anytime. It's not the misconception that, okay, now I must break the rules and regulations. It's like that when we practice bhakti, we know that this is the rules and regulations. I need to chant my rounds. I chant more rounds than every day. That doesn't become like, oh, no, I'm increasing my rounds. And this is you have to stick to your rounds, right? Because you're Raganuga Bhakti, you want to do it. That's basically what it is. Any devotees who don't follow the rules and regulations, and they are just sajya. It's simple as that. There's rules and regulations to be followed, whether you're a Vaidhi Bhakta, whether you're Raganuga Bhakta. Anybody who doesn't follow the rules, the basic rules and regulations, that Srila Prabhupada has given, then they are sahaja. They cannot be called Raganuga Bhaktas, because in no way there is, and they mustn't. They cannot compare themselves to the Lord, to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and to Lord Nityananda Prabhu and to the acharyas. They will be humble, and eventually their own bhav will actually be, once they reach prema bhakti, they will know. It's not like that, okay, they're going to stop practicing, they're going to do whatever they like, and they're going to tell that this is Raganuga Bhakti. No, that's sadhya. You can't do whatever you like. That is not what it's about. You chant your rounds, no intoxication, no meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling. Simple. You chant your minimum 16 rounds. Raganuga Bhakta chants more. Obviously, he practices more. It does more devotional service. He follows the Guru's instruction. The most important is to follow the Guru's instruction, the Vani of Srila Prabhupada. That's what we're all trying to attain here. We're trying to please Srila Prabhupada, trying to come together. We're trying to please Srila Prabhupada in the best way we know how. And you can say there's two devotees. There's one devotee that wants to sit all day and chant, and he says that this is what is the best. And there's other devotees that say, okay, that the seva, that there's physical service that needs to be done. Both is correct, but what does the spiritual master order? That is the most important point. The rules are there for everyone. To chanting, you can't say that somebody who's sitting and chanting is not doing it. They can be ingenuine in their chanting. Who knows? We do not know. We cannot judge that. And a person who's doing seva all the time, but not chanting, or just chanting the bare minimum, we cannot judge them and say, okay, fine, that this is that they're just trying to get away from their chanting. It's all dependent on the actual sadhika, and it's also dependent on the Guru Maharaj's instructions. Srila Prabhupada, what does Srila Prabhupada instruct us? Who is our spiritual master? What did he instruct us? Did we read all of Srila Prabhupada's books? What are we doing about it in our lives to please Srila Prabhupada? It's all about that. It's about pleasing our spiritual master in the way that he instructed, and beyond that, in the way that we also want, because it's also a personal relationship that we have with our spiritual master. So sometimes the devotee says, oh, Prabhupada wants this, he wants to eat this type of, basically he likes this type of bhoga, he likes this type of fruits. the devotee gives Prabhupada the types of fruit. He offers it to Krishna, gives Prabhupada that type. But sometimes the devotee says, oh, I also like this fruit. Maybe Prabhupada will also like that. That's Raganuga Bhakti. He gives them something extra upon what he actually asked for. If that makes any sense. You can understand it like, yeah. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, and in that though, is there like, is it possible for is it possible? It's okay. Yeah. Is it possible for like is it legal sometimes for the Raganuga Bhakta then to break the principles? Like never. So it's never legal. So why is this thing out there that Raganuga Bhaktas can break the principles and get away with it? Why is that?
Then they're not Raganuga Bhaktas. They're simple. So the 4 rules and regulations Prabhupada gave us, that's non-negotiable. That's not, and you chant your minimum 16 rounds. Who cannot do that? That's Vaidhi Bhakti. Prabhupada says, you practice this is Vaidhi Bhakti. You practice in this process. And from there stems Raganuga Bhakti. Then you gradually increase your seva and gradually increase everything else. Your devotee Harinam, your book distribution, your Krishna Prasadam distribution. Gradually everything is increasing. If you're if you're saying that I'm not going to chant my rounds because I got to go out and do Harinam, then that's not right. Because Prabhupada says this is the minimum, you follow this. Our minimum was supposed to be 64 rounds. Prabhupada is so merciful that he gave it to us for 16 rounds because we couldn't attain that. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that anyone that cannot chant 64 rounds is no better than an animal, basically. But Srila Prabhupada is so merciful that he says, okay, 16 rounds. Since you cannot do this, 16 rounds will be the minimum. And you know, that's so merciful. It says, why? It says you can at least do that. So anybody who doesn't follow that, you know, it doesn't, okay, like, you know, there is certain things that devotees can do as well. I mean, there is strict instructions. I mean, those are the instructions that Prabhupada gave. Everything else, you know, when you're taking your initiation from Prabhupada, you're looking at Srila Prabhupada and you're making your vows in front of Krishna, in front of Srila Prabhupada, in front of the devotees, the assembled devotees. These are the rules and regulations that you're saying, like, you know, I'm gonna, no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. And I vowed that I'm going to chant a minimum of 16 rounds. That is that's the vow that you're making. Anything beyond that, if you don't do that, then, you know, and if you want to do something else, then you cannot call yourself a Raganuga Bhakta. You cannot say that you are a Raganuga Bhakta, but you are not following the minimum. You know, I mean, that's a minimum. It's not even the minimum. That's the standard.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Thank you,
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
last joke.
Yeah,
1
thank
minute.
you, Prabhuji.
We
Hare
don't know how
Krishna.
to do this. Can you mute that one? I think he has to mute that, right? And 1 minute.
Okay, Mathurapati has a very nice transcendental joke for us, right?
Transcendental joke.
Okay.
Yes, go for it quickly.
So what you say, Nityananda Prabhu, if someone, it is little joke also. If someone would say here, some
Let's hear this
Bhakta,
joke.
and he say, now I'm Raganuga Bhakta, I will say, okay, it's good. Then now stay in one room for the next some months and chant every day minimum 108 rounds, and the other time only read some books and not more sleeping, like minimum 5-6 hours, and other time only chanting. That's for all your life now, please. And then if he can do okay, then we can say, okay, you are really Raganuga. If not, then stop and go out preaching. Is this a good joke, Prabhuji?
Very good joke. Okay, we're going to finish it there.
Okay,
Okay, bring it back to Prabhupada. In the lecture, Srila Prabhupada said a very nice thing. He said that Krishna is really happy and pleased when he has his representatives, his bona fide representatives. And his bona fide representatives, what do they actually do? Facilitate others into service. So let's meditate on that, on how we can become a wonderful tool in Prabhupada's hands by pleasing Krishna. How? By facilitating others to be engaged in devotional service. So that's one of the things Srila Prabhupada said in this lecture. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Hari Bol. See you all in about 1 hour and 10 minutes when we got the next class, which is really, really important, really, really nectar and super nice. It's Ishan Prabhu talking about his Loving Prabhupada Part 2. Don't miss it for the world. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. Prabhuji, can you close that?